Hello and welcome. My name is Paige. I typically don't introduce myself, and not sure why, but for any of you who are new or just didn't know my name, my name is Paige, and I want to talk about the Capricorn full moon, which is a super moon that we are culminating and working up towards. It will be exactly full and in the sign of Capricorn on July 3rd. And a super moon basically just means that the moon is at the closest, it's on its axis. It is closest to Earth. I think we have 3 super moons and then we have 2 more after this. And for myself personally, this is a really big, a big change, and a big shift in consciousness for myself. And I know I'm not alone in this. So I wanted to kind of break it down as to what we've been working through, what is going on, that we are working towards shifting into new. We've been working with the nodes of let's go back. We've been working with Pluto in Capricorn since 2008. So in the last 15 years or so, we've been working through a lot of the underworld, so to speak, of ourselves. And then we have the nodes of the moon, the north and the south nodes of the moon are wrapping up the themes of Scorpio and Taurus. They will be shifting into Aries and Libra July 17th. So we've had 18 months of the Scorpio-Taurus axis, and Scorpio representing, or the south node in the sign of Scorpio is our past, of the underworld. So it's bringing up a lot of, Pluto is bringing up a lot. And now that Pluto has retrograded back from briefly being in an Aquarius to Capricorn, now we have Pluto retrograde Capricorn squaring the nodes of the moon, squaring the south node in Pluto, south node in Scorpio, and Pluto is the ruler of Scorpio, as well as the north node in Taurus. Square aspects are challenging, extremely challenging, but with great rewards through the challenges, through the fires, so to speak. So I wrote some notes so I wouldn't lose sight, because I get taken into my own journey here, and I want to keep it more collective and incorporate my experiences here. So Pluto in retrograde, squaring the nodes of the moon. Pluto recently retrograded out of Aquarius temporarily back into Capricorn. This is where Pluto began its journey in 2008 in the sign of Capricorn. So if you are able to reflect back where you were, what you were working through, especially when it comes to your own ways of exerting your own power or having control over a certain situation of your life. And I'll go deeper into that since 2008 and what you've learned about yourself, about your past, going all the way back to childhood, as to where you are now versus where you have been in 2008. For myself, big changes, huge changes. And I'm sure I'm not alone in that one as well. Also, the stock market had crashed in 2008. If we want to look at the collective energy, that created a whole new wealth and power grab for us, especially within the, let's just say in the financial and power and control areas of collective energy. Pluto's mission is to break down and expose elements of darkness to whatever themes and elements the sign that it's in. So for Capricorn, it would be governments, rules, regulations, and we'll go deeper into that. Pluto is also going to expose the light side of the element that it's in the sign. So we're talking about Capricorn here. Pluto exposes these elements to the extreme, the depths of the darkness and the light, revealing these extreme polarities within ourselves, within the collective energy of the world. And we have been seeing a lot of this heavily for many years, but it just continues to expand into more and more extreme polarities now that we are becoming more conscious of more things. In other words, the trauma is being brought out to the surface so that we can become more conscious of our own personal traumas, of the trauma of the collective, heal and move out of the influence of trauma. So with the south node of the moon in square to Pluto, our past traumas are dramatically obvious to us now. Most of us. Well, I would say all of us, just not everybody is. There are still those who are running and hiding and burying their heads in the sand of this, but it is known, it is conscious. Collectively and individually. The South Node in Scorpio, ruled by Pluto, for the past 18 months, we've gone to the very, very depths, or at least have been brought to our deepest, darkest places within our own psyche, of our traumas, of our suppressed and repressed emotions, in hopes that we will be able to transmute and transform within ourselves. A square aspect is challenging and really tends to rattle us to our core. Pluto's Scorpio energy has been shaking us deep into our core of our human darkness. Pluto's bringing out the dark side of Capricorn, exposing the dark side of control, of power, of ambition, the dark side of ambition, of law, of regulations, of rules. Pluto still finishing out the entire year of 2023 in Capricorn since 2008, since the market crash. It feels like a power and control grab or power and control war. This has been the theme that continues to expand and get larger and larger and larger. If you have been listening to me for the past 5 years or so, we've been talking about power and control being the themes here. This is Pluto and Capricorn. And especially since the nodes of the moon had moved into Scorpio and Taurus, which as we are moving towards the end of that cycle, we only have 2 more weeks of that before the nodes switch to Aries and Libra. That's typically when the energies that we are experiencing are at an all-time high intensity level. So the energies are really working to pull a lot of the stuff, the traumas, the darkness to the light of consciousness for us all. More grabbing and grasping for power and control as Pluto completes its Capricorn cycles, as the old systems begin to collapse and dissolve. And they have been, but we will see more and more and more of this. Personally, Pluto retrograde in Capricorn is inviting us all to look back on the past with new, mature, wise perspectives. We see our childhood different than we had seen it when we were children. We see ourselves in a different perspective, in a different light when we're not in it, when we have grown and evolved out of those stages of life. We see all the layers and cycles of our lives different than we did when we were experiencing them. In retrospect, we see our patterns as we make the unconscious conscious, in order to grow, in order to evolve, in order to change. So ask yourself, what have you been working through for the last 15 years with regards to your own power and control issues in your life? This is what this full moon is highlighting for us. Full moons are completions. They are bringing us to an area of choice. Full moons impact our emotional world, and super moons even more so. We tend to be more emotionally reactive and instinctual through full moon energies. And now the sun being in nurturing, healing, Cancer energy, this is opening ourselves up to our own suffering, to heal ourselves from our suffering. We have a lot of other planets retrograde. We've got Neptune, we have Saturn, we have Pluto retrograde, assisting us to go within, to reflect, to review. The way I see this full moon for us all, for myself personally, this has been my experience. And the memories come up, the realizations, the consciousness of myself, my past traumas. I have been brought to a certain area of life where I am like, no more. I know more. I no longer want to have these experiences with other people mirroring to me my traumas. I have evolved out of that. I am working towards healing. Capricorn energy is all about putting in the work, is about taking ourselves seriously, taking this opportunity for healing seriously, embodying the new versions of ourselves, the new consciousness that has come to light. No longer repressing, no longer suppressing, taking accountability for ourselves, our actions, our projections and reflections, and really putting the work into ourselves to be more true to ourselves, more authentic and real. So this is how I see this full moon, which is beautiful. And I already see for myself the growth, the expansion, the wisdom of what had maybe seemed as though it had been either a block, a frustration when it comes to certain aspects and areas of my life. I am a Scorpio sun sign. So Scorpio sun in the second house. This is all about myself, my ego, the way I see myself. And I've been able to see myself in such a new light each time I get layers and layers stripped away of old versions of myself, how I had operated, how I had seen myself, and the patterns and habits that were created by me and outside and traumas and outside experiences that were to be of maybe a source of protection or inspiration that now don't need to be a part of my journey any longer. So I see this as an opportunity for us all to really wake up to new understandings, new experiences, new realizations of ourselves, to grow, evolve, and become wiser, much more conscious human beings and to live our best life, not in the manner of grabbing power and control. And okay, one last thing. I was really guided this morning, and I didn't think that this was going to come up today, but I'm going to do this because I have been talking about these mirrors in so many of my videos, readings as well. I might as well just quickly go through the 7 mirrors of reflection that are reflected back to us of our past traumas and what I see for myself that I have been working to transform, transmute. So the 7 essene mirrors, the first mirror of reflection, and this is through our relationships to others. The first mirror is reflecting what we're feeling in the present moment. So there are times where we may present ourselves like somebody asks you, how are you? And you're like, great, fine, but really you're not. You're just not divulging all of the crap. Well, you may have that crap reflected back to you through another, or somehow brought to the surface by another, and you're like, how did that even happen? But that is definitely one of the mirrors. So these aren't, when we think mirror, we are just thinking that someone's holding up a mirror and this is who you are, this is what you are. No, these mirrors go deep. There's a lot involved here. The second mirror is what we judge, something that we have an emotional charge with. And this is regarding our wounds from the past that have not been forgotten or forgiven. So we may judge certain aspects of ourselves or others due to past traumas. And that will be reflected back to us through many different ways and things. The next mirror is, and I'm supposed to, well, I'm just gonna, okay. Trying to keep this very organic flow here. The next mirror is what we have lost, what may have been taken away or we have given away. This is something that I had been seeing, especially in the last, I would say, well, the last 15 years since Pluto moved into Capricorn. For myself, my voice, my expression, I had lost that. I had given it away, or I had it taken away from me at a very young age, would get it back, and then it would be taken away again by another person through either narcissistic relationships that I didn't understand that that's what they were, a lot of gaslighting and things that I had experienced in my past. So the loss taken or given away, this is out of survival and out of our masks, out of our persona, our the shields and masks that we wear. When we see what we love or what we desire in another, for instance, people that I admire, people who have the power of strong speech and to really grab emotion and feeling. It's often something that we've lost within ourselves. We've either lost it, it's been taken from us, or we've given it away. We've given that power over to some form of narcissism or trauma. So that's a very strong mirror that I've been looking in for quite some time and very aware of it, which assisted me in building this channel and starting to really express myself stronger. The next mirror is most forgotten love. This could be a way of living, a way of life that you see in others, or a lost or unfinished relationship. This reveals our patterns of compulsive, addictive behaviors in us that we see in others as well. Very strong mirror. Then we have the mother-father wounds, also the beliefs, the perceptions, and patterns that have been passed on to us from our mother-father. That's the fifth mirror. The sixth mirror is the quest into darkness. This is where we really meet our greatest fears and challenges. This is Pluto energy all day long, taking us into our deepest, darkest fears, our underworld, and challenging us to first of all, see it for what it is and see it in a new light and to transform that. Could also be reference to the dark night of the soul. It's stripping away layers that we do not need to operate in any longer. They're not doing us any favors. The seventh mirror, self-perception. This is how others perceive and treat us according to how we treat and perceive us. Very strong mirror that most do not understand or see or realize, yet it is very true. So take a deep dive into maybe how someone else had treated you or mistreated you, to see where it is within yourself that there's some form of belief. These are the beliefs we want to strip away. These are the beliefs we want to no longer carry energetically with us. So we want to perceive and treat ourselves as we would like to be perceived and treated by others. Unless you learn to face your own shadows you will continue to see them in others. The world outside of us is a direct reflection to the world inside of us in so many different angles, facets, and depths. And if we can all embrace and understand these 7 different mirrors of reflection that we are always projecting and reflecting to each other, one another, the entire world of humanity would completely and utterly shift and change, and drastically. These are ancient teachings that date back before Christ. And yeah, they were discovered and brought back to life when the Dead Sea Scrolls were discovered. And I won't go too much more into the history, but if you want to check out the blog section in my website, it goes into a little more depth as to the 7 essene mirrors. So that is basically, in a nutshell, my interpretation of this Capricorn full moon that we are all embarking on, what we've been working through, why we are bringing up old traumas, old wounds, old patterns, old habits. It's necessary. It is necessary for human evolution, for growth, for evolving into the new way of the true, authentic, real way of living as a human being on this planet. And I am embracing every step of the way. I also will continue to read in on the energy and report in on whatever it is that I am guided to. And I'm just so grateful for all of you out there who are embarking this journey with me, and all of your comments and all of the beautiful support that comes in. And I'm sending out so much love and support to all of you as well. Have a beautiful day. Have a beautiful weekend. And or whenever you're watching this video, actually. And I'm just sending you out so much love. Take care. Bye.